येनाक्षरसमाम्नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृस्तं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। येन धौता गिरः पुंसां विमलैः शब्दवारिभिः तमश्चज्ञानजं भिन्नं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। अज्ञानान्धस्य लोकस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। अस्तु. In the last classes we studied about lopaha, and in the sutra halgnabhyo dirgha sutisya pruktam hal, we encountered one doubt. It was, what is the need of the in the sutra? Then I studied that sutra, but it requires a lot of basic other concepts understanding, which we have not studied. So I will explain the need of C in that sutra in some later point of time. For the moment, if we understand that hal letter when it's followed by aprukta C pratyaya, then that C pratyaya is deleted. If that is understood, that's enough for now. We shall revisit the same sutra in later point of time. And we studied up to Shesh Chandasi Bahulam. Today we shall take Rasvasya Piti Kruti Tuk. Rasvasya Piti Kruti Tuk. Padaschedaha Rasvasya. Like Ramasya, it is Pratama Ekavachana. Kshamyatam. Shashti Ekavachana of the word Rasva. Piti. Saptami Ekavachana of Pit. Kruti. Saptami Ekavachana of Krut. Tuk is the Pratama. Kshamyatam. Rasvasya Shashti. Piti Saptami. Kruti Saptami. Antuk Pratama. Pratama Ekavachana. Okay. Here Rasvasya is in Shashti. So it is the Sthani. So Piti Kruti, these are in Saptami. So these two represent Paranimitta. So there should be a Pit Krut Pratyaya. After that, there should be a Rasva letter. After that, there should be a Pit Krut Pratyaya. A Krut Pratyaya in which Pakara is it letter. Like Kyep, Lep. They are Krut Pratyayas in which Pakara is hit. And in that case, a Rasva letter gets Tugagama. Here, it is not Adesha. So, Rasva letter will not be replaced by Tuk. Rasva will be there as it is, since it is in Agama. So, there will be Tuga, addition of this Tuk between that Rasva letter and Pitkrut Pratyaya. So before we go into details of this sutra, we shall study something detail about this, what is an Agama. Before we study that sutra, we shall discuss about Agama. As we have already discussed before, Agama comes along with the other Sthani and Nimittas. It doesn't replace either Sthani or any Nimittas. So it doesn't comes in place of Sthani, it comes along with Sthani. So if you take Pat plus Truch, Truch is a Krut Pratyaya, Ardha Dhatuka Krut Pratyaya. whenever in ardhadhatuka pratyaya which starts with val letter, val represents all consonants except yakara. Yakara. So if a ardhadhatuka pratyaya starts with a val letter, here takara is a val letter, then the anga is here pat gets idagama. It is not the pratyaya, it is the dhatu. Ardhadhatukasya kshamyatam ardhadhatukasya. Okay, the pratyaya gets idagama, so truch gets idagama. Similarly, this is the lang lakara form of pat dhatu in pratama purusha ekavachana. There also in lang lakara, lung lakara and lrung lakara, the anga, here anga is pat plus shap. This portion that gets adagama, at agamaha, adagamaha. In here lep pratyaya is there. Okay, this is the example of rasvasya pitikruti tuk, which we are going to study. Here the rasva letter is there. Here smru, in smru the last letter is rasva, and here it is pit krut pratyaya. Lep is a krut pratyaya, it is pit, pakara is itya halantyam. So rasvasya pitikruti tuk, tugagama will happen here. Then sta plus nich. Whenever akaranta dhatus are followed by nich pratyaya, then there will be pugagama. Sta is a akaranta, dirgha akaranta dhatu. Then in presence of nich pratyaya, there will be pugagama, pukagamaha. Vadi is the dhatu in aupadeshika form. Here ikara is anunasika. I have not mentioned chandrabindu here, but it is anunasika. Consider it as anunasika. So since it is anunasika, it undergoes it is a it letter, and it undergoes deletion by tasya lopaha. Once it undergoes deletion by idito num dhatoho, if a dhatu is idit means ikara is it, then it gets numagama. Here you can see numagama. Then similarly, the pratipadika chatur means 4. Chatur gets agamaha in presence of a sarvanama pratyaya. We studied what a sarvanama is. Sarvanama means the sut pratyayas, the first 5 sut pratyayas for pullinga and strilinga words, and jas and shas, pratama bahuvachana and dvitiya bahuvachana for napumsakalinga words. So in case here jas is a sarvanama sthana, so there will be numagama, sorry kshamyatam, agamaha for the word chatur. So these are the some examples of agama. Here you can see sthani has not undergone any changes. Along with the sthani, you can see the agama. Consider the example of pat plus truch. Here it will be taken here by the sutra ardhadhatukasya id valadehe. Ardhadhatukasya it valadehe is the sutra by which itagama will be there for this case. Ardhadhatukasya, it is the sthani, so it should be ardhadhatuka pratyaya. If it is not ardhadhatuka, if it is sarvadhatuka, then there will not be idagama. So this idagama is purely restricted to ardhadhatuka pratyaya. Ardhadhatukasya hit valadehe. Val adehe means a pratyaya which starts with val. Valadehe is also in shashti, so it qualifies ardhadhatukasya. Valadehe ardhadhatukasya it. So there will not be any other purva nimitta or paranimitta required for this. If pratyaya is ardhadhatika, then there will be idagama is the meaning of this sutra. So here we don't require pat and anything for our idagama to happen, but a pratyaya is ardhadhatika only because it is attached to a dhatu, so there should be a dhatu. Otherwise, it cannot be called as ardhadhatika or sarvadhatika. So indirectly, it means there will be a dhatu here, but the sutra doesn't tell. It just tell a ardhadhatika pratyaya which starts with one letter gets idagama. Consider pat plus trucha. Here, since truch is a ardhadhatika pratyaya and it is valadi, it gets idagama. Consider counter example. Pat plus gai. In gai, the drushya rupa is akara. Gakara is it, nyakara is it. So only rasva akara is left behind. So that rasva akara is not a one letter. It is not a one letter. A is not a one letter. So there will not be idagama in this case. Pat plus gai. So there will be some ruddhi adesha here by atav padayaha, because gani is a nit pratyaya. So it becomes pa and varna melanam patha. So it should be a valadi pratyaya. So the need of valadi in the sutra is over. The next is it should be a ardhadhatka pratyaya. Consider this case pat plus shap plus tip. Here tip is a sarvadhatika pratyaya. All thing pratyayas are sarvadhatika in case of lat, lot, lung and vidiling in these four lakaras. So there will not be idagama. Even shap is also sarvadhatika since it is a shit pratyaya. Shakara is it. So since these two are sarvadhatika, we cannot get idagama either before tip or either or before this shappu. So there will not be any idagama since these two are sarvadhatika pratyayas. Agamasya sthanam. We saw in the previous examples. Here I told the here idagama is for trucho, but agama has come before the trucho. Here I told the idagama is for tugagama is for the rasva letter, rasvasya piti krutita. So, but the agama has come after the sthani. Here I told this agama, puk agama is for sta dhatu. It comes after the sthani. Sthani is sta. After the sthani, the agama is seen. Here in case of at, the sthani is pat. The anga gets adagama, but the adesha is seen before the sthani. And in case of vadi, the sthani is vad, the whole word. But here we see we neither see after or before the word, before the sthani. We see in the middle of the sthani. In case of chatur also, the whole word chatur is the sthani, but we don't see this agama after or before. We see it in the middle of the sthani. So we shall study agamasya sthanam, where an agama will come, the position of agama in sthani. Consider this ardhadhatakasya id valadehe. If you consider here truch is the sthani, so the question is whether it comes before truch or after truch or in the middle of the truch is the question. So based on this, there are three types of agamas: pit agamaha, kit agamaha, and mit agamaha. There are two sutras which govern the position of agamas. The first one is Adyantau Takitau 1146. आद्यन्तौ टकितौ, आदि अन्तौ टाकितौ, प्रथम द्विवचन. आद्यन्तौ qualifies टकितौ. So it means adi tit anta kit. It means in agama, if an agama is tit, then it comes in the adi, in the before the sthani. If a agama is kit, it comes at the end of the sthani. Consider tit agamas by ardhadhatukasya idvaladehe. Here it is the agama. In hit, the takara at the end is hit by alantyam, so it is a tit agama. So since it is tit agama, by adyantau takitau, tit agama before the sthani, kit after the sthani. Since it is it, so here sthani is trucho, so it should come before trucho. So we get it before trucho, before the pratyaya, before the sthani. Similarly, lung lang lung sho adudattaha. 6471. Lung lang lung sho at udattaha. So here lung lang lung sho, this is saptami bahuvachana, since three lakaras are there. At pratama ekavachana, udattaha pratama ekavachana. We don't worry about what udatta is here. Usually all agamas are considered as anudatta, but by mentioning of this sutra, the udatta word in the sutra imposes the udattatvam to the agama. At agamaha, here akara is a rasva letter, so usually all agama are anudatta, so this akara should become anudatta, but we want udattatva of this agama, so the word udatta is mentioned in this sutra. Lung lang lungsho ad udattaha, at udattaha, the adagama which we seen will be udatta. So lung lang lungsho, this is not the sthani, this is para nimitta. So we should be clear that lung lakara or lang lakara, lung lakara, they are not sthani, they are the paranimitta. Means whenever the pratyayas of these lakaras, think pratyayas of these lakaras are there, it means there should be a dhatu here. This is in when it is followed by lung lakara, lung lakara, then it means the anga before the pratyaya, what will be there, whatever there is present before the pratyaya is called as anga. So the anga is the sthani here, and it is tittagama. At is a tittagama, so the sthani is this pat, so we see adagama before the sthani, so there will be at before the sthani, that is pat. Next, kittagamaha. An agama in which kakara is sit is called as kittagama. Consider this sutra: arti hri vli ri nui kshmayi atam pungnau. Arti, this dhatu, hri vli ri knui kshmayi, and atam means dirgha akaranta dhatu. Pung, for this is shashti bahuvachana. Therefore this is the sthani. Puk is the pratama ekavachana, now is the saptami. So in presence of now, this is paranimitta. So in presence of now, these dhatus get pugagama, so this is sthani. So since it is a kittagama, they come after the sthani, so the agama comes after the dhatu. So arti, ri, li, ri, nu, ikshma, yatam, stani. Puk is the agama. For example, if you take re from these examples, re is here. If you take re plus nich, here the mention of re is there in the sutra. So in presence of nich pratyaya, there will be puk. Since it is kit, here stani is re, the agama comes after the stani. So re is the stani. After the stani, we will get the agama puk. Similarly, sta, akaranta dhatu, nich. Here sta is the stani, so it comes after the stani. One more example, rasvasya piti kruti tuk, what we are going to study. Rasvasya piti kruti tuk. So rasvasya shashti piti kruti saptami tuk pratama. Rasvasya, it is in shashti, so it is stani. So if you take the example of some upasarga followed by smru dhatu and lep pratyaya, here lep is a pit krut pratyaya, smru is rasvanta dhatu. So rasvasya tuk. Here since tuk is a kit agama, it comes after the stani, after rasva letter. The next type of agamas are mit agamaha. Mit agamaha means the agamas in which makara is hit. The sutra for that is midacho antyat paraha. The immediate next sutra after adyantau takitau. That was 46th. This is 47th. Mit achaha antyat paraha. Midacho antyat paraha. If you do the padacheda, mit achaha antyat paraha. Mit achaha midachaha antyat midacho antyat paraha. Mit means a mit agama. Antyat achaha paraha. Antyat achaha paraha. There will be stani. Before that, we shall take this example, and by using example, I will explain. We shall take this sutra. Ugidacham sarvanamastani adatoho. 7:170. By this sutra, Ugidacham is Shashti, Bahuvachana, Sarvanamastane Saptami, Dhatoho Shashti. Ugidacham is Shashti, so it is the Stani. It has two words, Ugit, Ugit and Acham. Ugit means, listen properly, Ugit means a Pratipadika which has derived from a Pratyaya which has uk letters as it. Uk letters means u, ru, lu. Uk means u, ru, lu. U, ru, lu. If a pratyaya has uk letters as it letters, for example, matup. In matup, takarottara ukara is it. So that ukara is it. So matup is a ugit pratyaya. Similarly, shatru. In Shatru, that Ru at the end, Takarottara Rukaraha is it. So it is a Rugitta or Ugittu. So if a word is derived from the pratyayas in which uk letters are it, they are called as Ugittu. So the stani is Ugit Pratipadikam. Here Patat is derived from Shatru Pratyaya. So it is a Ugit Pratipadikam. And au is pratama dvivachana pratyaya. Pratama vibhakti dvivachana pratyaya for this pratipadika patat. So by this sutra, it tells for these words there will be numagama in sarvanama sthana. Sarvanama sthana means that sut pratyaya, the first five. Consider this as patatyas pullinga word. In case of pullinga, the au is a sarvanama sthana. So by this sutra, there will be numagama for this word. Patat, ugidacham is Shashti. In this patat qualified by that word ugidacham in the sutra. So the patat gets numagama. That num comes as anurutti from the previous sutras to this sutra. So there will be numagama for the ugit pratipadikam when they are followed by sarvanamasthana pratyaya. That is su auja sum out in case of pullinga and strilinga words. So here by midacho antyat paraha, num here makara is a it letter. So this num agama comes after the last vowel antyat achaha paraha. Antyat achaha means if the word has more than one vowels. Here pakarottara akaraha is a ach letter. Takarottara akaraha is a ach letter. So there are two vowels. The last vowel is the vowel which is present after takara. So this agama comes after the last vowel. The last vowel is this akara, takarottara akara. After that, this agama will come. So here pata, then num, then the remaining part of the sthani is present. So in num, that makara is it, ukara is for sake of pronunciation. Only nakara is left. So we will get but the drushya rupa of num is nakara and t is the part of the sthani. O is the pratyaya. If we do, if we combine all of them, we get patantau. This is the pratama vibhakti dvivachana form of patat in pullinga. Patantau. So by midacho antyaksharaha, the mit agama comes after the last vowel of the sthani. We shall take one more example. Chaturanadu horam udattaha. Chaturanadu ho am udattaha. Chatur anaduho am udattaha. Chatur anaduho is the Shashti Dvivachana of Chatur and Anaduh. Am is the Pratama. Udattaha is Pratama. It means here also by default Am should become Anudatta, but we want Udattatva of this Agama. So the mentioning of Udatta is there. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. Consider Chatur plus Jas. Chaturanadu horam udattaha. Consider Jas pratyaya for Chatur. Here Chatur anaduho. This was in Shashti. So Chatur is Stani here. And by the sutra Am Agama comes. This Am is a myth Agama. So that Agama should come after the last vowel in the Stani. Here Chatur is the Stani. The last vowel is Ukara. Takara Ukara. So the Agama should come after the that Ukara. Chatu Am Refa Drushya Rupa of Justice As. So in Am that Makara is it, so that will be deleted. Chatu Makara gets deleted. R and A combined together to form Ra and S. And here Ukara is followed by Akara by Iko Enachi. There will be Ukarasya Yakara Adeshaha. So it becomes Chetvaras and that Sakarasya Visargaha Padante. So the final form is Chetvaraha. Chetvaraha is the Pratama Bahuvachana form of Chatur in Pullinga. the prakriya, all this prakriya we were studying in Subanta Prakaranam anyway, but I wanted to explain the positioning of Mittagamas in Stani. So I hope you are clear with positioning of Tit, Kit and Mittagamaha. Is it clear? Okay. So a pratyaya, sorry, in agama should either kit or it should tit or mit. And no other hit letter will be there in any agamas. So if a pratyaya, sorry, if in agamayas tit or kit or mit, we studied the positioning of those agamas. But if some entity as kakaraya sit or takaraya sit, it did not be an agama always. A pratyaya can also be kitto, a pratyaya can also be titto, a pratyaya can also be mitto. So then how can we decide whether it is a pratyaya or an agama is the question. Again, that has to be understood from the commentaries in the sutra for the each sutras. If we are not clear with whether it is an agama or pratyaya, we have to seek the help of commentaries. For example, here gaposhtak, gapoho tak. This tak, in tak both takara and kakara both are itto. So it is tit as well as kit, but it is not an agama, it is a pratyaya. So we have to we have to distinguish between whether it is an pratyaya or agama with the help of commentaries if you are not clear with. So this is about positioning of agamas and some details about agama, what an agama is. So we shall study the sutra Rasvasya Piti Kruti Tuk in the next class.
So simple thing. That kit with what's the position? So can you repeat it, please?
Yeah, it is simple only. I want to give some examples. We shall study that in the next class.
Okay, sir. ಧನ್ಯವಾದ, sir.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.